Disney Plus is currently working on a new Goosebumps TV show. I'm excited about it, but there are a few things I think it needs to get right in order for it to succeed. What are they? Well, first, number 10, Easter eggs and references. Just like any fandom, you know what Goosebumps fans love? References to Goosebumps. Or at least I do. I think it would be awesome to have some of the cast from the original Goosebumps TV show make appearances in the show in small roles. Additionally, wouldn't it be cool to see someone reading a Goosebumps book in the background of an episode or something like that? The 90s TV show did stuff like that occasionally, and I thought it was fun. At the very least, I want them to somehow get R.L. Stine to appear in an episode. The cameos with him in the Goosebumps movies were cool, and I hope that stays alive in the Disney Plus series. On the topic of the Goosebumps films, number 9, don't repeat the movies. What I mean by this is don't give the new Goosebumps TV show the same plot as the movies. I'm honestly kind of worried about this because the description of the show says a group of teenagers unleash supernatural forces upon their town. Gee, that doesn't sound at all like the first Goosebumps movie where a group of teenagers unleashes supernatural forces upon their town, or the second Goosebumps movie where a group of teens unleash supernatural forces upon their town. What I'm saying is we've seen this plot of Goosebumps monsters being brought to life and the main characters having to get rid of them. I like the Goosebumps movies, but I want to see something different with the Goosebumps Disney Plus show. Now, there is a chance that the new Goosebumps TV show will take place in the same universe as the two Goosebumps movies. That could be cool, but even then, I still want something different. One of the biggest issues with Goosebumps 2 was that it was basically the same plot as the first movie. If they do the same thing again in the Disney Plus series, I feel like the show will be set up for failure. Something the new show should do to set itself up for success is number 8, world building. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but I have a really good feeling the Disney Plus series is gonna bring us something we really have never seen in Goosebumps, and that's a continuous episodic story. Now, there have been a few Goosebumps stories that continue right after each other, but generally each book and each TV episode was a standalone story. Even though the movies took place in the same world, it didn't really matter at all. However, with the new show, it sounds like it'll be one big story told over 10 episodes. I'm honestly all for that, but to make this work, they have to world build. That doesn't mean the show has to take place in some fantasy land, but I want something a bit more fleshed out. I really want wherever the show takes place to be fascinating and a world that I want to learn more about. Goosebumps has never really done world building, with the exception of Horrorland. Still, I think that's all the more reason to give it a try, especially since, again, this is probably going to be one big continuous story. It seems like the show's creators are thinking about that. Based on the info that's come out so far, it sounds like the town the series will take place in is called Port Lawrence, and the year 1993 will have some significance. That's a good sign to me, and this leads perfectly to my next point. Number 7, have a good mystery. If you've ever read even one Goosebumps book, you know that each chapter ends on a cliffhanger. This is one reason why the books were so popular. It was impossible to put them down, because after reading one chapter, you had to read another, and after reading another chapter, you had to read the next. With the Disney Plus show likely being episodic, I want each episode to end on a cliffhanger. Make it impossible for people not to continue watching. Not only will this be good for the show, but it'll help give it that Goosebumps energy. Speaking of episodic, number 6, space out the episodes. As mentioned, there will be 10 episodes in the new Goosebumps TV show. Hopefully they'll get renewed for more. One way I think that can happen is by spacing out the release of episodes. I don't want them to just drop all 10 episodes on the same day. Space them out. I know one episode a week might be kind of hard, but maybe 2 a week, or at the very least, release the first 5 episodes and then give it a few weeks before releasing the final 5. I think the show will have a much bigger impact if the audience has to wait. It's kind of like dessert. Doesn't it taste so much better when you have to eat your meal first rather than getting it right away? Now, not everyone might agree with this next point, and that's number 5, wait to reveal Slappy. It hasn't been confirmed, but come on, we all know that Slappy will appear in the new Goosebumps show. While I definitely want to see the living dummy, I think they should wait to reveal him. The show is going to be 10 episodes long, so maybe wait until the 5th episode to reveal him. Why do I think they should do this? 1, Slappy is the most popular Goosebumps monster, so not having him show up right away will build anticipation. Additionally, this gives some of the other Goosebumps monsters time to shine. In the past few years, we've gotten a lot of Slappy media, and it's great, but it's time to pull back a bit. If he's always there, it's hard for him to be special. So if Slappy isn't there right away, then what do you do? Well, number 4, build up the other monsters. There are a lot of other really cool monsters in the Goosebumps universe, and I think this new TV show is a perfect opportunity to utilize some of them. I would love to see the Haunted Mask, Cuddles the Hamster, or even Mr. Wood appear in the show. There are so many monsters that the creators can use, and with this being a TV series, there's more time to develop them. Plus, I just think it'd be cool to see the Goosebumps monsters interact with each other. Imagine Dr. Maniac and Slappy having a conversation, or what if the Masked Mutant and the Haunted Mask encountered each other? Wouldn't that be cool? Come on, Disney, make it happen. Something else they should make happen is, number 3, bring back Jack Black. If Disney is set on doing something similar to the movies, then they absolutely need Jack Black as R.L. Stine again. As I mentioned earlier, I am slightly concerned that they're going to do something similar to the Goosebumps movies. At the same time, I think doing a TV show that takes place in the same world as the Goosebumps films could be really cool, since the second movie did end on a cliffhanger. If they end up going that route with the new Goosebumps TV show, then bringing Jack Black back as R.L. Stine is a necessity. I thought all the actors were good, but Black's performance stood out in the first film, and honestly, without him, I don't think it would have been as good. Black played a great character, and I would love to see him reprise his role as the author of Goosebumps. On a different note, something that Disney needs to hit out of the park is, number 2, marketing. This doesn't have to deal with the show directly, but it's so important it needs to be included. You could have the best TV show of all time, but if no one knows it exists, then no one is going to watch it. If Disney wants the new Goosebumps series to do well, they have to invest the time and money to promote it. The first Goosebumps movie did well at the box office, and I think a big reason was that they knew they had to promote it. There were video games, Scholastic made audiobook versions of classic Goosebumps books, there was even a promotional tie-in with Del Taco. I'm not saying the Disney Plus Goosebumps show has to do all of that, but it really does need a strong marketing plan for it to be successful. And the number 1 most important thing the new Goosebumps TV show needs to get right is, be scary. It's tricky to get a Goosebumps story right. It has to be scary, but not too scary. That's one of the reasons I love the franchise so much, since it has to get creative. Anyone who creates anything Goosebumps related has to strike the balance between scary and humor. However, what usually happens is they go too hard on the humor and not enough on the scares. I think that was probably the biggest issue with the Goosebumps movies. They were more silly than scary. I get why they did it, but come on, it's Goosebumps. It should be a little scary. Even R.L. Stine said he thought the movies could have upped the horror a bit. I know that Disney isn't going to want to freak out kids, but I don't know. Kids love Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm absolutely terrified of those games. The point is, I think kids can handle a scarier Goosebumps TV show, and I feel like if the creators can strike the perfect balance of horror and humor, we'll be in for quite a ride. Now, which monsters should appear in the new Goosebumps TV show? Well, to find out, hit the video on screen.